Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, and you know I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. Welcome, G Hive. Welcome all the goddesses, all of the hashtag replay sisters. Let's talk about the full moon today. Oh shoot, my music. Hey queens. Hey queens. How's everybody doing out there? Haliji is what it's called. Haliji. I'm here, queen. All right, I'll take the music out. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see who is here. Y'all are going to just kind of catch me falling. I'm just falling in here. I had a little bit of a different start to my day. And so I was just like, okay, I'm running late. A good morning, Azizi. How are you? The homegoing services look so beautiful for your soror. Thank you for sharing that with all of us. Hello, Shannon. How are you? Grand Rising, great rising to Bliss. About to get coffee. Okay, y'all are catching me drinking, taking vitamins and drinking my little health drink. Grand Rising to Minister Ocean Kimmy. How are you? Cheerios and decaf tea. I love that. Yeah, I love that y'all started talking about all of that when you first got here. Wealth Rising. Happy Scorpio. Yes, it's Scorpio time. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. Miscellaneous AB. How are you? Morning. How are you? Still learning. Thank y'all so much for patiently waiting on me. The nonprofit where I work, we are having an Indigenous Voices concert, and I do the narrations. And it got to me late last night, and someone needs it this morning, so I was like, "Oh, I've got to go on ahead and record that." And then my husband is here. Y'all gonna catch me change my earrings too. I just want some different earrings. My husband is here, and I needed to do something for him. So I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm just behind." But I appreciate y'all. Thank you for patiently waiting on me. That's right. Let them know. Drinks and dancing shoes. I have something for y'all. Thank y'all so much for caring about me. Natasha, how are you, queen? Okay, so you see it? That's what I want to show y'all. This is my Halloween costume. I was gonna wear something else, and then I said, wait a minute, it'll be Halloween next Tuesday, so I'm wearing it today. Hello, how are you, embroidery queen? Welcome. It might be. These eclipses been messing with me. A cup of Shango, glorious risings to Jaimin. Yes, Scorpio. What can we say? Scorpio. Fresh pressed OJ. Okay, that sounds delicious. Okay. I got it off of I got it off Etsy. You can find them all places. I have a purple one, but I like this one the best because I love this t-shirt. Now the purple one, I'm gonna go get it real quick and show you. This one looks like a witch, though. I like this one. I don't know how it's coming across the screen, but it's purple. So I got 2. Oh, hello, Be More Natural, Grand Rising. Yes, I love the pastels. I love the pastels. Yes, I love you all too. I love you all too. So yeah, you can find it on Etsy. If I can find it on Etsy, I'm finding it on Etsy. Okay, Queen. So today I want to talk about this full moon that we're getting, and we're gonna talk about this moon. If you're in the membership, I posted a separate video, which is better for me. That was one of the reasons I got it. I think this one is more me just because of the little pack across and just so plain. And got the little mug, so bougie. It's like, "Oh, we going trick or treating? Okay, well, this is what I'm gonna need for trick or treat." But anywho, yeah, I want to talk about this full moon. Now, in the membership, I did place just a special video going through it. Typically, I don't do a separate video for the membership because I do it here, and I'm still gonna tell y'all everything. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that I looked early at this moon because I actually got stressed out by it. What I want to talk to you all about first is how was the eclipse for you all? I still feel like I'm reeling from that eclipse. That eclipse was a little while ago. Mm, well, maybe it was a week ago. And yeah, I was so ready to get out. I think I told y'all that last week. I was so ready to get out of um Libra season. I didn't know what to do. I've just been so emotional. Um and the thing that I love about these 2 eclipses is they're both ruled by Venus. So I think they're highly impactful for us. And yeah, they're highly impactful for us. And one of the things that included with the new moon workshop that I did for Libra new moon was a meditation on self-worth. And so I think that one of the things I'm wanting us to really focus on is um, aligning ourselves with our worth and our value. I think it's really important. It's foundational because when we look at astrology, um, the first sign in the astrological wheel is Aries, and the second one is Taurus. And Taurus has to do with our values. It's all of the signs from Aries to Virgo. They're at the bottom of the chart. They're foundational to who and what we are. And most people don't understand the importance of aligning with the right values in order to get the results that you want in your life. Manifestation is so much easier, I think, than conscious manifestation because we manifest all of the time. Is much easier than we realize. Um, but it is a little bit more, it's like the feminine part that makes it a little bit challenging. So yeah. Um, I want us to be focused on what do you value? What are your values? Do you have self-worth and self-value? Those are things I want us to be um, focused on. Okay, so Natasha, yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Okay, the moon, reeling, but it was beneficial. I think that's how I'll describe mine too. I'm still on the edge. Okay, I'm feeling what everyone is saying. Still on the edge. Yeah. Praying it passes soon. Mm. Shifted so much, it still very much got me feeling some sort of way. So much crazy eclipse energy, very emotional time. We're calling for justice for Amanda. Ooh, okay. Please do. Let me know, Azizi. Good. Mm-mm-mm. Sounds like it's not justice for y'all to have to be calling for it. I don't know if I felt anything, but I did get a cold. I'm over it now. Glad you're better, Natasha. Yep. kind of dark feminine energy for me. I feel the same way. Miscellaneous AB. Not knowing how to find consistent community throughout my life and praying for the world too, making me very emotional. Yes. Yeah, for me, I'm glad that you have that beautiful that you do have the worth. Um and finding consistent community is important. It really is. It's foundational. The house at the bottom of the chart, well, two of them at the bottom. Third house is community, fourth house is family. It's everything. So, with you still learning, with you. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about the family tragedy, Bliss. Just praying for you and your family, okay? Oh. Okay, so the dark feminine is coming up. And I can believe that because, we have so much going on in Scorpio right now, mixed with what is happening with the eclipse purging that Libra. Libra is a masculine sign, but it's ruled by Venus. So to me, Libra's feminine. And yeah, that's all I can say. Oh, I've had a handful of people this week reach out to me in depression. Oh, hello, Shauna. How are you? They are all suicidal. Let me tell you, I can believe it because the last time we had Mars conjunct the South Node, that's when I saw a lot going on with suicide. Now, I will say when the eclipses moved into Taurus and Scorpio, I think Regina King's son, he unalived himself during that time. And it can be really, it can be something else. Now we do have Saturn and Neptune and Pisces, which can be beneficial, but that's a lot of watery energy that has to do with things going away, being on the other side, that kind of thing. So, yeah, we all have to kind of really check on everybody and, take seriously anyone who's struggling. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, thank y'all for supporting Bliss. Hello, Radiant Rose. A dark clay Parvati statue that I drip water on every morning. Oh, I love that. I've been paying more attention to the dark feminine. Did y'all see the did you so I guess I am connected because I was like, I don't typically make posts like this, but I really wanted to. Let me just go to my Instagram. It'd be easier. The if y'all did y'all notice the Scorpio post I made? I don't typically put any images or like graphics on there. Uh Let me find it. Profile. Let me show y'all. So, and I remember just thinking, I need this to look. I need this to look dark. It was just like I just love the way this image looks. She looks so powerful, so strong, and just authentic and unto herself. So I guess we all are connecting with this dark feminine energy. Wow. Oh, yeah. It's yeah. So and that is why with that Libra eclipse, I just said, y'all look, I just feel like we are, how when they say a hurricane is coming, and you need to board up the houses, it's kind of like you need to strengthen and fortify. That's what I see this time as. It's a time of strengthening and fortifying ourselves. Okay. And when it's time for a hurricane, I've never been in a hurricane, but I know when we have tornadoes where I live, It's not really a fun time. It's like you're used to it when you live in a place that gets a certain type of natural disaster on a regular basis. There's always the threat, and the threat is there so many times, and then sometimes it actually happens. So even during the threat time, it's kind of like, whoa, we're not partying. It's more of like everybody, let's come together. Like we have to get in the closets or go to like the innermost room in the house, whatever they're doing with the hurricanes, or I don't know what it's like with the earthquakes, but there's things that we do, and that's what I kind of feel like we're just all kind of like hunkered down right now, and we're doing things to fortify us while there's a storm happening. And when we get to 2024, and I can't guarantee if it's January 1, I'm going to be looking at all of that as we, get closer to that time. But once we get to 2024, it's like that day after that natural disaster comes through. To me, 2023 feels like a natural disaster year. Is it 2020? That was the real natural disaster year. But 2023 is something about this year. Is all these years. That's why I said 2023 is just another installment of 2020. It's just been one installment after the other. 2020, 21, 22, 23. 2024 is the upswing, but it's not like, when a pendulum goes down to the bottom, before it gets up to the top, it's got to swing through all the lower parts to go up to the top. So we're swinging up, but that doesn't mean that it's just going to be like all, miraculous. But I think for us, it could feel so doable because we're doing all of this work. We're connecting with that dark feminine energy. And, I love talking about the heroine's journey. I don't know if any of y'all have read that book, but you can listen to it on Audible. Maureen Murdoch is the one that I read. And once I really started getting this story about Persephone, Inanna, whichever names you want to use, of our journey is to go into the darkness. That is where she found her power. Persephone was all happy and, doing great on top of the earth with her mom, Demeter, or is it Demeter? Yeah, Demeter. I have a friend named Demeter, so it's always like, which one is it? Demeter. They have this beautiful relationship, and then Persephone gets snatched down into the underworld where Hades is, and it wasn't even her own choice. It was her father who said, "Yeah, Hades, you can have my daughter." Hades snatches her, and she goes down into this dark, underworld, and she finds her power. That is very important for us. It's like that, doing that shadow work and having the courage to face the parts of ourselves that are just, we think these are the worst parts, or the courage to stand up in a world that seems so scary and still say, I'm going to do my best to make as much meaning of, as I can here in this world. That is a really, that's powerful. That's powerful. So that once we start swinging up, when we get to the other side, there's this internal power that we always want to have access to. And so many of us feel so disconnected from that internal power. So I want you all to know that the work that we're doing here, hearing so many of y'all working with the dark feminine, so many of y'all supporting people who are struggling to stay here in this, it feels so challenging. I just commend you, and I encourage you to continue to be the light when things seem so dark, okay? Because there's always good happening. There's always the light. The light is within you, it's within me, it's within everyone. And my position always is, when I'm good, I need to be helping people, because it's going to be a day when I'm not the one that's good, and I'm going to need somebody to be good, right? So let's just do our part, whatever that is. For some of us, it's just that you pray for the world. You have special rituals that you do for the world. Let's just continue to do whatever, feels right, as, the beautiful spiritual energies that we are. I hadn't heard about that. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to make sure I look into that, and I'm going to be praying for peace. Um, Natasha. Thank you. Hello, how are you, CV? Okay. Are you a Scorpio still learning? Happy early birthday to you. Aw. Okay. Understand this. Understand. I'm gonna just kind of scroll through and look at everything and just kind of take a note of what everybody's saying, and then I'm gonna start talking about the eclipse. I living in Kansas. I have family that live out there. Mhm. I like that. Yeah, 2020 aftershocks. That's a very good way of describing it, Azizi. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Um, Heroine's Journey by Maureen Murdoch. Mm, okay. Wow. Grand Rising, how are you, Ellen? Yeah. I guess we maybe what I'll do is focus a little bit more on the dark feminine. Okay. Okay. So I just want to go on ahead and start talking about the eclipse. So this is a full moon eclipse, and one of the things that I think is really important is for us to take stock of what what is it that you want to celebrate. Um, let's see here. I was gonna try to see if I could get y'all to think about um what the focus is for Taurus, but this is this is what I want to do instead. I want y'all to start thinking back to the end of 2021. I want you to think of all of 2022. And I want you to start thinking about what major change has happened for you since around this time, fall 2021 into all of 2022 and up until now. And I want you to think about what new thing has happened for you. What have you achieved? Now, what is Taurus about? Taurus is about money, food, self-care. It's also about your stuff, your shared resources. Um, not shared resources. It's about your material possessions. It's about the earth. And so that's one of the reasons it's very much about care, self-care. How are you taking care of yourself? It has to do with storage. It could also be related to history because when we think about like a library collections of stories, history, that kind of thing. Storage is another thing that Taurus is about. And I want you just in general, think about, oh, did I say personal finances? I know I said money, but I also want you to think about personal finances, okay? Is your ability to make the money. And I want you to drop in, what are you celebrating? I know the moon, the eclipse isn't until Saturday, but I want you to go on ahead and tell me, what are you celebrating? I need to bring something up. There we go. Okay. What are you celebrating since the end of 2021? And it's something very, very new. And you initially didn't feel comfortable with it, but then you were able to start feeling comfortable with it. It's a new direction that your life is going in. So let me tell y'all this. I'm going to go through these really quickly. If you are a Aries, definitely since the end of 2021, because that's when we had our first eclipse in Taurus, but it could have been something in 2022, kicked off about self-worth, value, personal finances, food, self-care, history, family. Something new kicked off, and definitely, okay? Now, if you are Taurus, then it is like your life went in a whole new direction. And y'all have heard me talk about it almost ad nauseum. Almost ad nauseum. Um, so Tauruses have a whole new something going on. Like Tauruses kind of feel like I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't even know who I am anymore. um, because the one thing I want y'all to think about, this is for everybody. This eclipse in Taurus is happening on October the 28th at, I think it's at 4:24 p.m. Eastern time. That eclipse is kind of like this last push to get you on over into this new thing that Taurus is taking you into. These Taurus eclipses have taken you into. All right. So Taurus is kind of like this is last push to get you over into your new life. Now, another thing for Taurus is it could be something about the body. It could be something about the body, your health, your well-being, your appearance. And so, as a Taurus, I would love to hear from any of the Aries. If you're Aries, and I talked about that second house, what came up for you? For Tauruses, and I want you to listen for your sun, your moon, and ascendant, because I'm Taurus moon, and I'm telling you, this is so on point for me. Um, for me, I have done a whole lot around personal finance, like becoming more responsible and more focused on my personal finances. I took all kinds of personal finances courses. This is the new direction of my life because of because of me being a Taurus moon. But also my career has changed and shifted significantly. And I'm deeper into being um, an empty nester because that has been an identity, and it started shifting right at the end of 2021. Now I think about it like, wow. It started shifting right at the end of 2021. In 2021, I was not a trainer. I'm now a trainer for a company. I had someone recently say, "Hey, I want to learn business with you." And I immediately downloaded a program and I was like, not only am I going to show you how to do business, I just created a certification. All of this, I didn't used to be able to do that in 2021, right? Um, just giving thanks to Sistership Circle. I want to just make sure I'm just like honoring that company because it really has helped me so much. Um, let me see here. What else? Um, yeah, so I'll end with that. I want to just hear from y'all really quickly before I continue. We're going to start with Gemini next. Collaboration. Okay, yeah, I'm going to put y'all on pause real quick. I need to just check with my husband before he leaves because, yeah, just hold 1 second, sisters. I'm going to be right back. I told y'all it's a crazy day today, but I'm going to give y'all some music. Y'all know I'm always going to hook y'all up with some music. I'll be right back and we'll talk about Gemini and I'll be looking at y'all's comments. Here I come. Whew. Life waits for no business owner. Okay. If we were in my private group, I would tell y'all about the logistics happening, but I don't want nobody on this list to know all. I mean, the strangers out there, they don't need to know. So I'll put it inside Mighty Networks. But anywho, yeah, I was looking at the comments. Thank y'all for waiting on me. And all is well. He's just about to leave, and I just need to check on something. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back up. Okay. The snow and ice storms are something else. I always tell folks that the Wizard of Oz didn't tell any lies about the weather there. Okay. Celebrating new perspective business wise. Love that. Celebrating standing on my own. Man, you cannot beat that. My life is shifting to a new level of womanhood as I ended the last few months have been 35, turned 36 in January. Yes. 36 is such a good year. Nothing feels the same anymore. 36 is a Jupiter return year. So that's a time when you feel like you have a fresh new perspective. And 35 is like the time just before you get ready to get birth. So it's like you're in a womb when you're 35. Beautiful. Yeah, I've been pulling cards that have been telling me to celebrate, but I really don't know what I should be celebrating. Life is lifing for me right now. Sending you a big hug. Y'all give Jasmine Miscellaneous AB some love, y'all. So let me tell you something. This morning, my mindfulness practice was just gratitude, having gratitude for small, simple things. That's what I'm going to offer to you. You have breath. You are able, you woke up this morning and on the internet, that means that we're living life much better than a lot of people right now. All right. And I do compare myself. It's like, well, you know what? When I think about what I saw on the news or what I saw with whatever, in other parts of the world where people don't really have it as easy as I do over here in Tennessee, which is not considered to be the most advanced state in the United States. It's not the worst, but we definitely not even in the middle with Tennessee, right? I'm still blessed and highly favored, right? Um, so how do we begin to change our life and take it in a new direction? We find the good and praise it, as Alex Haley said. So that's something you can celebrate. Celebrating is not all the time. I'm so glad you brought this up, Miscellaneous AB. It's not all the time about this great grand thing happen. Celebration is sometimes the best celebration is I got breath to breathe. I got food. I got clean clothes. I got a place to lay my head. Sometimes that is the best celebration you could do. So I'm gonna say that. My mother is a Taurus, and that's so true. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I've been maintaining healthy boundaries, beautiful, with toxic family relationships. Is not the story I want, but it feels more like self-love. That boundaries is self-love. The mug that I almost brought today, I'm drinking out of Be the One Who Was Brave Enough to Go After Her Dreams mug. I love that message, but I actually chose it because I was like, no, I need a big mug. And the other ones were small. But I have this mug that I gave my mom, I don't know, sometime before she passed. And it was something, this notion of mother's love. And this week in the training that I do for people, it's called How to Lead Circle. We're focused on the mother archetype, is what we call it. And one of the most important ways to that something that's very important for that mother archetype is boundaries, and how boundaries is a reflection of self-love, self-care, self-worth, self-value. And I always teach boundaries are really for me. It's not for anyone else to enforce. I enforce my own boundaries, and it's what helps me to stay healthy and strong. And whether someone else likes my boundaries or not, it's okay. It's not a problem, you know. But if we just find that we don't have boundaries, man, it's just life is harder. So I commend you, Shauna. Making more money on my own is a huge thing for me. Becoming financially stable again has been a humongous thing. I'm also shifting from being an artist to a writer. It's been incredible. That is so cool. Even though I consider both to be artists, but are you talking like graphic arts? I think it's visual arts is what I should say. I'm proud of you, Bliss. Yay! Sobriety, celibacy, self-care, healing myself from trauma. I'm so happy. Becoming more feminine from Libra season through the new year and beyond. This is my new life. Ashe, oh bliss. Ah, 36. I wonder if these shifting does get better. Shifting does get better. Um, Radiant Rose, it does. Vivi, Taurus rising. And the mandatory shifts that have been happening the last 2 years has been very uncomfortable. There we go, out of the mouth of a Taurus. It's no joke. No joke. Here we go. Ending toxic relationships. I guess that's one of the Shauna, do you know your astrology, sun, moon, or ascendant? Because I want to know, is it matching? Are some of the same signs ending toxic relationships? Minister Ocean Kim, yourself. You crack me up. It's been hard, brutal, actually. Homelessness, divorce, trust that it will get better. I love you all. Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Good. Yes. I plan on coming out with more hypnosis tracks. I'm actually working on that right now. So y'all look for that. I'll be creating more. Hello, Mystic Storm. Welcome, welcome. 6/20/20. I met your Team Priestess by accident. I would listen to Satguru during the full moon, but that year he was on a soul tour. So I met others that look like me. Ashe O. Loving the flow while we wait. Yes. Yes. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I love the hypnosis. I listen to hypnosis almost daily. Sometimes I go without hypnosis, but yeah. Okay, I love this, Kita May. Stop body shaming myself. Aren't you a Taurus? Are you a Taurus rising or Scorpio rising, Kita May? I get so confused. Health has changed dramatically with being diagnosed with COPD. Oh, I didn't know it's COPD. Okay, but I've become more into healing it. I've been consistent with my spiritual practices and more aware of my money. Woohoo! Love that, Kita May. Yes, it's the simple things. The simple things. Okay. Gratitude. I love that y'all are doing the gratitude. Okay, visual arts, beautiful. Yeah. Oh, it's not making light of it at all. It brings honor. It helps people to realize sometimes you're just sensitive in a way because, yeah, the mental health is connected to a specialness about you. I love that you brought that up. I love that you brought that up. Taurus rising, yes. So I've been watching Keto Mays, and then she talks about that health. She had the health thing going on. So yeah. Okay, so let's go to hold on one second. Let me get organized again. Reorganized. Where is it? What did I do? There we go. Okay, now let's look at and it's okay that we're doing this because this moon in Taurus, we're tying up. I want y'all to imagine that we're taking a bow and we're tying up these Taurus and Scorpio eclipses. And I want you to mark your calendar in 9 years. You're going to revisit everything that happened this year, but it's going to be more of like a full moon time for Taurus. and it's almost like, okay, well, we need to start letting go of some stuff in the Taurus house because we're going to spend these 9 years kicking off, working on this new area of life or something new that Taurus kicked off for us. And then in 9 years, there's going to be some big manifestation. And then beyond that, we'll start releasing in Taurus, right? But then when we come to Scorpio, we're still kind of in release mode, actually, with Scorpio, because that's the part of the eclipse that was in Scorpio. Kind of like there have been so many messages about releasing and letting go and purging. It's kind of like a fresh new slate, clean slate has been set in Scorpio. And then, we're going to start in 9 years, we're going to start going in a new direction in our Scorpio house. Let me know, did that make sense? And the reason I explain it that way is because I want y'all to not see astrology as a one-day thing. I want y'all to understand there's cycles. To me, that's what makes it so powerful for me. This is why when I use astrology, I can get stuff done. Now, that doesn't mean I don't struggle. I'm not just skating through life. But I tell you what, before astrology, I was like, I don't understand why is stuff not coming together. Well, I understand the cycles now of astrology, whereas before I didn't. I didn't even know astrology. So I'm wanting y'all to see right now, we're working on something that we're gonna be working on for the next 9 years. All right. So but we're tying up what is it about this eclipse that Taurus is like, hey, this is our new focus. This is the new thing that we're doing. Because when this eclipse comes back around in 18, 19 years, we don't want to be like, dang, I remember I started that about 18 years ago and I never finished it. That's not us. That's not going to be us. Okay. Okay. Gemini. Now for Gemini, this has been a little bit rough. It's been a little bit rough on Gemini. Because first of all, the eclipses before this was happening in the Gemini's house. Actually, Gemini and Sagittarius. Y'all were asked to go in a whole new direction. And the Geminis probably felt very uncomfortable. And what I have learned is, in the Sagittarius for sure, I know, because they had the hard part of the eclipse in their sign. So what I want y'all to note is that after the eclipses are in your first and your seventh house, for those who know what your rising sign is, after the eclipses are in your first and seventh houses, there's like a gap year in between where you have to kind of spend time integrating what you learned. It feels sort of like a lull year. It almost might feel like I'm trying to get traction, but it's like it's like all these reminders of what the eclipses taught you. And it can feel hard. It can really feel hard. So for the Geminis, these Taurus eclipses have been deep in your psyche, deep in your subconscious mind. And it could be something spiritual. It might have something to do with your mental health. Um, it could be it could be an unlocking of creativity, an unlocking of um, healing. But before it got unlocked, maybe there was something there that didn't need to be there. And you have to kind of confront it. Or, Gemini is not like the most emotional sign. And so it's been like this deep emotional, it's working on the internal world for Geminis. Gemini's up here, but y'all have had to really be digging deep and going deeper into your psyche. Maybe you begin to think about all the things that are in your subconscious mind that you didn't realize were there. And now, it's kind of like, do I want to keep that or do I want to let that go? And some of the Geminis may have gotten ultra spiritual, just really, or esoteric in some kind of way. Some of y'all may have really gotten into meditation. You may have just been like, I just want to be away. I don't want to be around a lot of people. As social as Gemini is, also with this house, like I said, it could really lead to deep uh access to art, and like this also like this connection, this divine connection. Let's see here. So it's a this where this happened for you is definitely about how you need to go be a little bit more into you, into your spirituality, doing some introspective work, but it feels more emotional because the 12th house is an emotional house. So the Geminis, it's something like that for the Geminis. So I would love to hear. Okay, so we have a lot of Geminis, Sag Moon. Okay, I knew there was some Sagittarius in there. Okay. So that would be the thing. I'm gonna tell you, Geminis, if I were y'all, I would definitely. Oh, you want me to tell you? This 12th house also has to do with overspending. So some of the Geminis may have been like confronted with overspending and kind of like, I need to get that under control. But if I were y'all, I would be focused on healing the subconscious mind using things like NLP, hypnosis. I do love Ho'oponopono, meditation, mindfulness, anything that helps you to cultivate the inner landscape. Tell me what's been going on for the last 2 years, Gemini. What's happened for you? You know, this one that let me just tell y'all, the 12th house is the house of self undoing. And so some of the Geminis started thinking, you know what? I see how we call it self-sabotage. I see so much self-sabotage. I see how it's like I'm gonna go for something and then something happens and you end up not doing it. You'll do something to make sure it doesn't happen. And that's because you have something in your subconscious mind that doesn't feel safe about what you're doing. And that's why you want to use all of these modalities to heal the subconscious mind. Grown spiritual, yes. Mhm. So I'm taking it as a sidereal Gemini moon. Good, good. Yeah, yes. Okay. So next is Cancer. And for Cancer, this happened in your 11th house. These eclipses have been happening in Taurus eclipse has been happening in your 11th house since um the end of 2021, fall of 2021. So I noticed that a lot of the Cancerians started saying things like, I feel so much better than I did when in 2020, in 2020. 2021, I think too, the top of 2021, I think there was still one more eclipse. I can't remember actually. But I do know 2020, I felt so bad. Actually, it started around 2018, 2019. 2020, poor Cancerians. Oh my goodness, poor Cancerians. I had so many Cancerians signing up for all my classes because it was so hard. That was a rough year. Capricorns too. And I just noticed once 2021 came around, I would hear from the Cancerians and the Capricorns, but especially the Cancerians, and they would say, "Oh, Tyra, things are so much better for me." You know, they were on the edge prior to that time, or during 2020. 2021 they started getting better, and that's because the eclipses switched to happening. Oh, let me see here. 2021, the end of, yes, so actually they were coming together, and then once we got with Gemini and Sag eclipses, and then once we got to the Taurus eclipses, it was now time for them to kind of catapult and take off, and like have new goals, or maybe you created some new goals prior to 2020, fall of 2021, and now it was kind of like you had the energy to actually go for some new goals. And it might be some new friend groups that happen. And the 11th house is all about progress. So a lot of the Cancerians may have been like, my focus is I just want to make progress, because this is definitely a house about making progress and Advancing. It's like we don't want to be in the dark ages when we are dealing with the 11th house. We want to move into the future. It's a very futuristic house. And it's also about, you know, being gainful. So some of the Cancerians may have been like, I'm all about making more money, being more gainful for my career, because that's what the 11th house has to do with. The 11th house also has to do with good fortune. It's one of the lucky houses. So some of the Cancerians may have felt like, you know what, I had some good luck, you know? It's a sciencey house. So some of the Cancerians may have been the ones who are kind of like, I want to have a system for how I do this and I got to test it and see, does it work? Some of y'all may have started broadcasting a message using technology in some special way. Maybe before that, the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio, you were like, I'm not that good with tech. And then something happened. And when these eclipses came in, and you're like, no, I'm so much better at tech. But definitely for me, when I have eclipses in the 11th house, man, I am focused on friend groups. That becomes such a big topic. It's just like so much about who am I hanging out with? Because when you have something happen in an 11th house, what you want is for you to be able to hang out with people of like mind. It really and truly is a time where you're like, the people who I hang out with, they're going to truly be determining what is possible for me. I don't know if y'all have heard of mirror neurons. When we hang out with people who are whoever we're hanging out with, we're going to all mirror each other. And that's why it is important who we hang out with. Okay. So, but this one is sort of like the example I like to give is once I launched an online business, I was like, I got to find people who have an online business because it's it's a whole thing and people don't understand it. Online business is actually quite new. And so I was like, I got to go find communities of people. Do I need to put down my friends who don't have that? No. But I knew I had to go find a community or some communities where people were understanding what it means to have an online business and just all the trials and tribulations that go with it. So it could be something like that. Um, but it could just be you are just like, I'm going to get some whole new friends. That's it. Just I'm tired of all my old friends. Ah, Gemini moon, and I have completely changed. Yeah. That inner world, it will change your life. And then you said you're also Taurus, I think. You've had some big changes, VV. Oh my gosh. You've had the eclipses back to back. My Cancerian ex-hub who left has made tons of progress. It may not have been by my side, but I admire how he's improved. I'm happy to hear that, still learning. So lovely. So lovely of you. Wow. 2019 was a huge shift for my path. Since I've been focusing on my business, it is all about getting my tribe. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a very good example for Cancerians. I get that too, E. I have to find some like minds too. Yeah. Like you're in grad school, so you may find that you just want to hang out more with the people who are there, even if it's online. I don't know if you're going on campus, but when you're in grad school, you gotta hang out with other like your classmates. You just have to. To me, I don't even see how you survive. Well, let me not say it that way. When I was there, I did so much better having, hanging out with the people in my program. There might be one person I'm still in touch with from that program. Okay. But when I was there, and it was pre-internet, so it's a very different we used to write letters to each other to stay in touch, letters and cards, because I went to grad school in the late 90s. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to Leo. Now, Leo. Okay. Big, big changes around career and what you are known for, reputation. Since the last 2 years, I want y'all to be thinking, Leo, what has changed around your career or your reputation? This all started at the end of 2021. Um, you may notice some extra responsibilities, especially, yeah, you may notice some extra responsibilities as well as responsibilities around family, maybe something with the parents. You may notice a change or promotion in your career. Sometimes your marital status may change. But let me tell y'all, I need the Leos to, if I could grab your faces and just hold them between my hands and just be like, listen, Linda, you have Jupiter in your 10th house right now. I don't care if your career point is in the 10th house or not, it is in your 10th house. This Jupiter can give so much. So you really want to be planting the seeds of what you want in your career or your reputation, which you want to be known for. Because sometimes you don't need to change your career. You need to change what you're known for. Leo is a sign where people can be very loyal, and Leo is going to show up. I know people give Leos a hard time because they are bodacious, vivacious, and just like badang. I know y'all are all happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I'm here. And I know y'all are happy that I'm here. I love Leos. I do. I just love Leo. But what a lot of people don't understand about Leo is they are pillars, immovable, loyal. Okay. All the fixed energies, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. You get one of those signs in your life, get a good one. They will never leave you. They forever there. And so sometimes Leos, it's like, yeah, I know I'm good at this, but don't put me in a box. Okay. Y'all got me messed up. Y'all think I'm just like this worker bee. But what I want y'all to know this year is who the heck I really am. I'm about to step out, kicking the door through, baby. Some of the Leos been coming through like, I don't know who you have me confused with, but I'm going to tell you who I am. When I had something going on in my 10th house, that was me, honey. Baby, I got Leo in my 10th house. And I remember that year, I was like, folks got me mixed up. Folks got me mixed up. I'm gonna need them to understand I'm the real deal. I'm a leader. I had this little attitude, but I had just kind of gotten pigeonholed into like Tyra's a good worker bee. And I'm like, what? Forget that. Baby, I'm a leader, right? So I don't know what that is for you because it may not be necessarily career. It might just be in your family. Oh, I need to let my family know. Everybody's gonna understand, and folks might be tiptoeing around Leo now, like, dang, y'all, she didn't changed, and yeah, y'all know who she said she was. You better not mess with her because she will check you. That's the kind of thing that can happen for Leos. See, I always bougie for real. That's right, Ali. Ah. Okay, it's online. That's when I started talking, I was like, she probably goes online. So many people go online nowadays. Ah, yes, yes. Capricorn sun. Wow, my goodness. Vivi, girl. Oh my gosh, you have had so much going on. My heart goes out to you because these eclipses hitting you back to back. I do love that the eclipses have been in Taurus because that supports your Capricorn sun. I do love that for you. Um, yeah, but then things are going to start shifting again too because eclipses in Aries and Libra. So you Vivi, so I want everybody to hear this. When you have astrology like Vivi, you have to it's almost like you're Oya. You have to be very comfortable for change to happen. That Taurus will make you resistant to it. Your Capricorn will help you because Capricorn will change, honey. Because Capricorn is like, look, we're gonna be successful up in here. What do I need to do to be successful? Taurus is resistant to change, and then you have that Gemini. That's a nice little mix, though. You got a nice little mix of all the different ways that these different signs operate. But you have to kind of, because you have all of this back-to-back energy, you kind of have to be okay with a lot of change happening really quickly. And I remember my husband preached a sermon one time, and it was talking about pruning. It's something in the Bible that was talking about pruning. And I just summarized his sermon as prune yourself, lest you be pruned. You have to constantly prune yourself. When you have astrology like that, where you keep getting hit up by the eclipses, prune thyself, lest thy be pruned. And I would just say take a page from Scorpio because baby, we live the pruning lifestyle. It's like, oh, I got to constantly be doing things to make sure that I am not stale and stagnant because Scorpio is like, hey, we're going transformation, baby, transformation. We ain't got time for not transforming. But if we're not conscious, it's like all this tragedy just keeps happening. So we have to train ourselves to constantly look at, okay, what do I need to change? What I need to work on? That's something I want to recommend to you, Vivi. Okay. At a stage where I'm truly enjoying my nervous system regulating, very important for you. This is the first time that it's really just me and God, just me and God. That is beautiful. I love that. All the Leos are chiming in. Yeah. My heart goes out to you, Vivi. Yeah, my heart goes out to you. It's not easy. Okay. So next I want to talk about for the last 2 years, Virgo, what have y'all been experiencing? Now, Virgos may have been experiencing this awakening. It's kind of like this expansion, this growth. You're going in a new direction and you kind of see things differently. You have a perspective. Some of the Virgos have gone back to school or gotten some higher level certification, which I know Minister Ocean Kimmy did that. You know, my older son is a Virgo. He's getting ready to go to grad school pretty soon. So some of y'all are doing something like that. Because that's a new direction it was taking you in. You went in a new direction, higher education, new direction, perspective, world paradigm, life philosophy, belief system. So much growth and expansion happened. You could have found a guru and a teacher since this time. Or you maybe are stepping into being a teacher during this time, the last 2 years. And you're kind of like, whoa, people really love the wisdom that I share and they look up to me, you know, that kind of thing for Virgo. I love this for you, Virgo, because you know, Virgo can kind of be like narrow focused on what are all the problems, but this one was like hope and optimism is what this could have brought for the Virgos. Some of the Virgos may also have been publishing books, or there's something about what do you call this? Public relations. And some of the Virgos may have been going to other countries during this time. You know, it's the ninth house is the time where you want to expand even beyond, you know, where you live. And so you'll go to other countries during this time. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, the ninth house is spiritual. So some of the Virgos have become more spiritual in some kind of way. And let's see, is there anything else? Oh, the ninth house also is a house that has to do with good fortune. So some of the Virgos have been in the last 2 years feeling like, "Man, I just had some really good fortune." Um, for me, I love the ninth house eclipses, the ninth, third house eclipses. Man, it was one of my favorites. One of the first that I really kinda studied, as an astrologer. Well, at that time, I would call myself an astrology student. I was very, very new. So, yeah, what happened for the Virgos? This Virgo has been running, feeling stagnant during the last 2 years. I had a couple of initiations. Yes, people value my opinion and presence. Beautiful. Yes, stepping into teaching. Yes. Capricorn is a challenging sign to be born under, to be honest with you. And so it's kind of like the way I recommend it, no matter what your sign is, but if you are for sure Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, Virgo, um, yeah, those signs are hard to be born under, sun, moon, or ascendant. And so I just encourage you to, once you understand the meaning of the sign and the objective, the mission of the sign, and you start living that, it makes it feel a little more easy. So let me see here. Big Virgo sun over here, and I've definitely had a perspective shift. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to talk about Libra now because I know Azizi is a Libra rising. So Libras will not feel stagnant. Any Libra who has felt stagnant, because I don't think you're the only one. I've talked to a lot of Libras, actually, Azizi. Now, they weren't Virgo necessarily. Maybe they had some Virgo, but they were definitely Libra rising. I've just been telling all the Libras, get ready. It's a purge time. This is how I want you to think about this, okay? So, but that's with the Libra Aries eclipses. Let me talk about what this check this out. For Libra, it was an eighth house transit. Eighth house is this deep, it's like this deep purge that happens. But I want y'all to go back to the top of our discussion today where we were talking about um connecting with the dark feminine. That is a definitely is something that I think some of the Libras have been focused on. This darkness, and it's like you got to go into the dark parts of yourself and confront them all and get some healing. I say the eighth house whenever you have eclipses there. So this is what I want the Libras to take from this is whenever you have the eclipses in the um eighth house, you want radical self-care. You want to spend as much money as you can afford on your self-care. Now, self-care isn't just the body, it's the body, emotions, the mind, spirituality. We want a holistic approach to self-care. This eighth house will also make you focus on money, other shared resources that you have with someone, taxes, inheritance. So it will be bring up a lot of so some of the Libras will have been focused on some money topics. Some of it is too getting financial backing of some sort. Maybe you apply for grants or, you put in proposals for something where someone gives you the money for the work you do. But it's not you selling it like through your business. It's more of like writing proposals and yeah, that kind of thing. Um, but it's also about intimacy and your sexuality, just connecting with it, maybe healing it up, or maybe just being like, man, I want more connection like that. It's very internal. So whenever you have an eclipse in the eighth house, it's that place in you that very few people have ever actually really seen. Very few people have actually really seen that. So it's been not fun. I had the eclipses there. When the eclipses were in Gemini, I was like, "Oh my gosh." It was such a deep, deep dig, and it just continued this year. But it's helping to kinda dig stuff up so that you can purge and release it with these eclipses where we are right now. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Ocean Kimmy, Minister Ocean Kimmy, Chiron. When you know your cycles and understand them, then it's like you know what you're supposed to do. Yeah. I love that. Oh, that is so good. Yes. So it might be more things like that coming your way. Um, Azizi. Libras, 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 Libras. Now, let me tell you, this eighth house is deeply transformational. Deeply, deeply, but it's an internal transformation. Azizia mentioned initiations, and she had something with the ninth house with her son, and then with her rising sign, the eighth house. I definitely think eighth house is initiation, but it's this kind of it's deeper. It's definitely something that makes you kind of like, oh wow, that really created a shift in me and it takes you in a new direction. It's also this energy that has to do with taboo, things that are taboo, divination. It could make you, definitely more into esoteric. Last thing that I'm going to say for the Libras, this eighth house has to do with research. So some of the Libras been researching like a mug. Y'all been researching something. I don't know what it is. And it's also like, you kind of get obsessed And, some of the Libras may have found out about some obsessions that they have. You also want to work on your psychological health too, Libra. There's been some focus on working on your psyche. Okay, Scorpios, this has been happening in your seventh house, which is transforming your relationships for sure, bringing up a lot of issues around relationships. Last 2 years, I want y'all to tell me what has been happening for you all. Is also about balance, looking at what's in balance and what's out of balance. And, are things in harmony or in things in disharmony? It has to do with coaching. So maybe you were a part of coaching programs, maybe you became a coach during this time. And also for the Scorpios, it's about refining things. What needed to be refined? What have you been refining over the last 2 years? And for the Scorpios, for sure, something new has happened. Scorpio, you just so different. You don't know if it was the seventh house or the first house. I can tell you that right here, right now. Because I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm like, I don't know what it was. Was it my first house transit or was it my seventh house transit? But definitely for the Scorpios. It's also something about legal affairs. Some of the Scorpios may have had some new legal stuff kick off. Okay, let me see. Let me know, Scorpios, what came up for you. Some of y'all got married, some of y'all got divorced. Some of y'all's relationship became better. So this is what I will say. Me and Craig in a whole new phase of our relationship as empty nesters. I know I've mentioned it before. It's literally like we went from being a couple of, as parents, to now it's just me and Craig here at the house. Of course, my younger son comes home, on breaks or whatever, but we spend the majority of our time, it's just me and Craig. So we're just in a whole new phase in our marriage and our relationship. And so that's how it has turned out for me as a Scorpio rising. Okay, next is the sixth house for the Sagittariuses. So the Sagittariuses, when y'all had the eclipses in your sign, this would have been most of 2021, maybe late 2020, most of 2021, and a little bit actually into 2022. Y'all's lives got rocked. It was like a big purge and release for the Sagittarius. And so for you all, it's been about, well, what's your lifestyle? Once the eclipse is moved into Taurus, like what about your lifestyle needs to change? You need to focus on your health. You need to focus on your day-to-day like operations and routines. And something new with work happened. Something new with work happened over this last 2 years for the Sagittarius. So maybe you got a new job, or the way you were operating day to day in your career, you were like, I got to get more systemized. I'm so unorganized. I need to get more organized and have more structure in the way that I operate. Um, this isn't a house for you, Sagittarius, that is how do I describe it? It's a hidden house is what it's called. So sometimes Sagittarius might kind of be depending on what your other placements are, but in general, Sagittarius can be someone who's not actually focused on detail. So this eclipse may have just been kind of like, hey, you need to be more focused on detail. So um also there may have been something about you want to give, you want to be of service. This could have come up as a theme for you, as well as something around pets could have been prominent for the Sagittariuses. Anything from the Sagittariuses, I would love to hear from you all. Okay, Capricorns, this happened for you all in the fifth house, which is a house of good fortune. And it's like this house where I think some of the Capricorns are like, okay, I am accepting what I'm good at and I want to be authentic with it. And I want to um, shine. I want to just be myself. And it could be like you wanted to have more fun. Also, Capricorns, and you're like, I just don't have enough fun. Capricorn is a workaholic sign. So it's like, I want to do things that I enjoy. And you might have even Capricorn turned a hobby into a business. That is something that you could still focus on. It's also about dating, so topics around dating, romance, even sex could come up have been coming up, in a major way for the Capricorns. Some of the Capricorns are now parents or about to be parents. I have a niece who's a Capricorn, and she's pregnant with her second child. She conceived and had the first child largely during this time also. Um, some of y'all may have taken some risks because the 5th house does have to do with taking risks. But I love the 5th house because you really just kinda get into this place of like, I know what makes me special and I'm good with that. I wanna share it with the world. So, oh, okay. Thanks, Kita May. Look, they're helping me out on her way out. Just sending you a big hug, Kita May. Thank you. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Okay, so that's what I have for Capricorn. Let me hear from the Capricorns. Here we go. I love this. I love this so much. Vivi, I did turn my embroidery hobby into a business. That would be the eclipses in the 5th house. So just hang in there with it because you can build that up over the next 9 years with this eclipse energy. All right. I love that. Okay. So let's look at the Aquariuses. Ooh, Aquarius, y'all have had a lot going on. Another sign that it's like the foundation of your life has really shifted. You become somebody new, but it's like, what do you stand on? The foundation on which you stand has changed and shifted. It might be you left. You know how the families, they're like, this is what we're about as a family. This is what we believe. This is what we stand on. It's kind of like what's planted in you as a young person, as the family values and how we show up in the world and what we believe in and stand for. All of that gets put in us, whether it's good or not. Sometimes it's a doggy dog world. Well, is that working for us now? Is what the Aquariuses have had to look at. The foundation that your life is standing on has shifted. It could be some new beginning regarding family, some new beginning regarding home. So some of y'all, the family dynamic has changed, or for some of the Aquariuses, you're in a new home. Another thing is something new about the emotions. Some of the Aquariuses may have been like, wow, emotionally, I'm being asked to go in a new direction. Sometimes when we have things happen in our 4th house, it's like you get matured to have an emotional body and an emotional state that that helps you to be more stable moving forward. But you kind of went into disarray, Aquarius, and now you might kind of feel like, okay, emotionally I'm healthier, even though this is still kind of new, but I'm definitely healthier emotionally. So it could be something like that. And it could be that some of the Aquariuses really got into over the last 2 years learning more about their history, their family history, their lineage, working with the ancestors. So that's something that came up. But it's definitely the Aquariuses are in a whole new place. Y'all are another one. And yours was internal Aquarius. So a lot of people didn't even see it. It would have been sort of like a few select people would have been able to really understand the changes you've been going through. Last but certainly not least is Pisces. Now, for Pisces, this 3rd house is like you got a whole new mind, a whole new mindset. You don't think the way that you used to think, Pisces. You're thinking in a whole new way. It has to do with beliefs. You got a whole new belief system. There were some limiting beliefs that you had, but now you feel more like you have a new way of believing, whole new set of thoughts. And that could have been the work that you were working on, really working on your mental health. Mindfulness is one of the things that I emphasize for this. I can tell y'all I had my first panic attack and the only one I've had last year. And as a result of that, I've realized how much mindfulness is essential for me to do every day. It's like taking if someone's on medication, it's like taking medication. So definitely a new way of working on your mental health is something that a lot of Pisces may have experienced. Also for the 3rd house, it's a relational sign and it's like these small little pockets of people, your siblings, your friends, your coworkers, neighbors. It could be something like that happening over the last 2 years for Pisces. One thing for me is I feel more connected to my younger brother as a result of this. Um, it also is about learning. So some of the Pisces have been learning a lot of new things, but it's more like skills, or you're teaching more skills. It's either or, could be both. Um, so it's a time where Pisces has just been learning, learning, learning. It's a house that has to do with communication. So Pisces could have been talking, 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 but it's in a new way that you've been doing this over the last 2 years. Maybe Pisces is more into journaling. I've been more into journaling in the last, well, I really have gotten into it, committed in the last 2 years. Or writing, writing stuff, creating blogs, books, I even I have a book now on Amazon. Um Business, some of the Pisces are like, "Ooh, I'm going into business now," and you've been learning business skills. You've just been doing things to, like, get your business up and going, or, taking the social media to a new level. That could be something else. The 3rd house is the house of doing the most, y'all, okay? It also is about taking short trips, so the Pisces could have, started taking more short trips, 2, 3 days, week, or whatever, just here, there, taking a lot of short trips. And, sometimes these are business trips. So that is a definite for the Pisces. This is not a bad place for eclipses. I like it when the eclipses are in the 3rd house. That's just me. Okay, let me see what else y'all have to say. I'm gonna take this down for a minute. Scorpio and Capricorn stellium. Ah, just take some deep breaths. Still learning. Just take some deep breaths. Yes, ma'am. I stand on sand, but I'm moving away from some family values. There you go. That's it, miscellaneous AB. Yes. Capricorn, still understanding what to do and how to do it. 36, what a lot of people don't understand is when you're in your 30s, you're still young. 36, you're starting to turn the corner. Once you get about 37 and 38, you'll start feeling way more like I'm finally a full grown woman. That's what happened for those of us who are like 40 or above. Are you like me when you got to about 37, 38? It was just something in my mind where I was like, "Ah, okay, I am mature finally." We think 30s is grown and mature. It's actually a very young place. You are still developing. You've only had 2 Jupiter returns. You just coming fresh off your Saturn return, and you're still maturing. In astrology, we're actually not mature until we start getting into our 40s. Capricorns do so much better the older that they get. If you have a lot of planets at the bottom of your chart, if you know your rising sign, if the majority of the planets are at the bottom of your chart, you will find that you have success later in life. Okay. Even if your sun is at the bottom of the chart, you might find that you have success later in life. And so we can just put our minds to rest. I was so fortunate that my godfather told me, "Hey, you're going to have success later in life." And so it just made me calm down and, feel not some kind of way. I graduated from Spelman College. All you hear is them raving about how successful Spelman College women are. And I'm like, I homeschooled, which is a big deal. I'm not my what I did was not less than what other folks did, but um I had to just like mentally do something to make sure I didn't feel like people were outshining me. And it helped me when someone said, "Oh, you'll be way more successful later in life." And I said, "Okay." And it just made me just accept where I was. So that's something to think about with your when you're Capricorn. Capricorn sun, Cancer rising, Libra moon, Venus and Aquarius. Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you and Vivi, y'all have to kind of be ready for change and transformation. Oh yeah. or the goddess of transformation, however you work, whatever energy you work with, that's very important for you to work with that energy. Big Pisces moon over here, and I support the claims of astrology, of the astrology. Ah. Yeah, I even think sometimes Aquariuses could be a little bit of late bloomers too. But Aquarius will kind of make some jumps and leaps. It's just how it works for Aquarius. But yeah, Capricorns, if you got Saturn, a heavy Saturn kind of influence, like Saturn in the first house, you could find yourself having more success later in life. It's just how it is. So I want to bring up now this moon. Let me take a sip. Now I'm drinking my water. If I can be honest with y'all, I'm not super excited about this moon, but what can you do? It is what it is. And yeah, I think it was Still Learning who said the Libra one, the Libra eclipse was, I don't know if it was rough or something like that, but lots of lessons learned. Yeah, that's what this is gonna be for me. So I'm gonna need y'all to work with a sister. So this moon is at 5 degrees up to, okay, let me just pause it for a minute. I want to pause it for a minute. Um, I want y'all to write something that you want to celebrate over the last 2 years. Okay, we're not going to move away from the celebration thing. Yes, a lot of us feeling like late bloomers. It's okay. It's totally okay to be a late bloomer. So I decided I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put on a little music, and I want to see some celebrations. Mhm. I'm gonna put this one on. I like this. Celebrate over the last 2 years. Woohoo! Celebrating starting my spiritual journey, not giving in. I stepped up. Woohoo! Bonjour, Diza. How are you? Celebrating just living through it all and still having my faith and love intact. Woohoo! I celebrate not having to be dependent on birth control and having better control over my reproductive system. Now that's some powerful stuff. Asheo. Being part of this community is definitely worth celebrating, and we love you, Azizi. Woohoo! Okay, I'm celebrating surviving during the pandemic. Woohoo! Yes. Doesn't that feel good? Look at how you feel. I want you to check in and see how good it feels to celebrate. Yes, still learning. Yes, it is. You see how it feels? You can't be serious all the time. Okay, Queens. I really want to make sure I go over this astrology with you all. This is very, very important. Celebrating not having lost my mind in the face of the last 33 years. Ashe. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, Diza. Okay, if I see any more come in, I'll address them. So let's just go on ahead and talk about the astrology. I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna change the layout just to put me in there with the actual. Okay. So the new moon the full moon in Taurus is happening on Saturday, October the 18th at 4:24 p.m. Eastern time. And like I said, this is the last push of the eclipses on the Taurus Scorpio axis. And it's interesting with this moon because yes, we have the moon down here in Taurus, and we have the sun over here in Scorpio, but we also have Mercury there and Mars. And then down here in Taurus, we have Jupiter and Uranus. That's a lot of energy. This is part of the reason why I was like, I don't know. The jury's out for me on this moon. Um, so it's this last push because these eclipses have been happening, they've been in action for the last 2 years. And this full moon is like, we getting ready to imprint you to make sure that whatever it is that you got started, whatever the purging and releasing that was happening, it's about to be on and popping. We're gonna make sure that you get the lesson. All right. So you got to remember this moon is going to be in effect for 6 months. 6 months. And what I like to do with the full moon is to get a message. What is it that I need to do? How do I need to tie up the Taurus Scorpio eclipses? And it's going to be something around money. It's going to be something around or resources, be it your personal finances, shared resources, healing. I love what I came up with when I was recording for the YouTube members. I wrote, hold on, let me see, make sure. Okay. I wrote, when we were looking at money, Taurus is personal and Scorpio is shared resources. Taurus is self-care and Scorpio is radical self-care and healing. Taurus is manifestation and Scorpio is transformation. Taurus is sensuality and Scorpio is sexuality. So it's like these two different worlds that we've been focused on with Taurus and Scorpio. So we're looking at both sides of this. A lot of times when there's a full moon, it's not necessarily all these planets right there together. So this is, and then it's the planets that are there. Jupiter, which is only in Taurus once every 12 years. Are you kidding me? Is a part of this major eclipse moon. Are you kidding me? Now, I know I really said, come on, Leo, get it together with this career, baby. You're going to be able to really take your career to a whole new level. So much good fortune for the Leos, but it's good fortune for all of us. Jupiter is in all of our charts. So it's important for all of us to realize we have a full moon that has the energy of abundance in it with Jupiter. It has the energy of manifestation in it with Taurus. And this moon is going to really be giving us some wisdom that we can think about. What is it that I need to do to maybe be, better at intentional manifesting? Because we are always manifesting. We want to remind ourselves to be human is to be a manifester. Okay. I just need to my husband is about to leave. I need to make sure he's not writing me. Okay. I just keep hearing my phone. Okay. So, yes, we have that good fortune manifesting. Now, I want y'all to also understand Jupiter, it makes anything expand. So, if you're doing something that, your soul is like, we don't need to do this anymore, that might get highlighted for you during this time. And it might have something to do with what you're eating, how you're caring for yourself. So, you want to just really be looking at that. Okay. And it's also retrograde. So, there's something about this moon because two planets are retrograde. Well, it's several planets that are in the mix that are retrograde, where it's kind of like there's still this emphasis on looking back. Maybe it's something we've started. We're going to get some insight on how do we finish this thing, or like how do we manifest it. What's the best path forward? What's the deepest healing? What's the new perspective that I need to have? Maybe it's going to be like, hey, finish this class that you started, this course that you started, this line of study that you started. You need to finish it, right? Um, you need to really lock in this new mindset that's going to help you to be more abundant, because see, Taurus has to do with abundance. And so there's this wisdom, these messages coming to us about abundance. And the same thing that's mixed up in there is like, but you got to let something go. You got to offload something in order to get this abundance that you're looking for. The fall is just always about offloading, like every time. Wow. Okay. And it's just where the eclipses are right now. It'll change in 9 years. Ah. Oh, I also want y'all to think about the word detach. Like, what have you been asked to detach from that what do you need to detach from that would allow you to go in this new direction? It's really a full moon that has you looking at both sides. This is not just looking largely at one side. It's having us look at both sides. And so over the next 6 months, we're really going to be tying up the work that we started, the mission of the Taurus and the Scorpio. And the reason I took all that time in the beginning is because you need to be thinking about what has been happening over the last 2 years, because it's gonna be highly emphasized over the next 6 months with the, it's gonna be highly emphasized over the next 6 months with an emphasis about 3 months out. Once we get to Aquarius season, there will really be something that is highlighted that needs to be focused on to tie up the Scorpio, Taurus eclipses. So this eclipse is happening at 5 degrees of Taurus. And so, or the new moon is happening, I mean, the full moon is happening at 5 degrees of Taurus. And so 5 degrees has, you call it Taurus. So it's a double dose of Taurus, a double dose of manifesting energy. Taurus has been in quite a few of these moons here lately. When you're using the degrees, that's what I'm using, the degrees. But the third one is Gemini. I was like, wow, this is really interesting, because Gemini um, is Mercury. And where's Mercury? Mercury's right over here in Scorpio, opposite the moon, with the sun, and its mind is on Scorpio. So this is another reason why it's kind of like, is it that you're gonna need to purge your mindset in some kind of way? Do you need to get a new mindset? Have you are you having a transformation in your mind? Um, let me see here. What else? Mercury is kind of like day-to-day routines, speaking, maybe it's like some of us need to clear our throat chakra and speak up more. And you're being asked to release blocks to speaking up. Or, it could be that there's something that is mentally blocking you and you want to purge it and release it because it's blocking you from manifesting what you want. Maybe it's a limiting belief, purging of limiting beliefs that would allow you to manifest. And you might begin to get that lesson with this full moon. Um, And then we also have, as a part of this moon, Aries, Mars, which actually rules um, Scorpio. And it's kind of like passion and focus. These are things that we'll all kind of, maybe this moon is going to help us to see what is our passion, or what is it that we need to focus on that will help us to manifest. It's truly like a deep dive is going to happen before we're able to actually birth something new. It's I sort of imagine a woman in labor, and maybe she like has to go to the bathroom several times before she can actually birth the baby. Sometimes something has to happen in the woman's body, something has to happen in the baby's body before that baby will actually be pushed out and you actually see the manifested baby, right? Before, we can't see the baby. and then we go through this. Oh, so maybe that's what it is. It's like this transformation that's going to be happening, and then then we'll birth out something new. We're going to birth out our manifestations, which is our metaphorical baby. Um, and then the moon is happening in Taurus, so you have to say, well, what's going on with Venus? Well, Venus is over here in Virgo. Now, why is this significant? Because we're already saying Gemini, I mean Mercury, it has a flavor. It's a part of this moon, okay? And so what is Virgo all about? First of all, it's an earth sign too. So I love that the planet ruling this moon is in an earthy sign, that because earth is about manifestation. So this moon is one where if you don't manifest right at the moon, it's something that this moon could really kick off so that you can. This is about physical manifestation, making more money, having more abundance, something like that. Total material stuff, because that is what Taurus is. Taurus is not this sign that's all super spiritual. It's like, no, I want food, I want money, I want, simple pleasure. I want a lot of pleasure, as a matter of fact. That's something else that a lot of us would be focusing on. Why are you not experiencing enough pleasure in your life? You need more pleasure, right? But Venus being over here in Virgo, she's kind of like, let me tell y'all, we need to get our routines together. We need to make sure that we are disciplined. And I mean, I know we want to do all this stuff, but it's not going to happen if you don't have a list of things to do, if you're not more organized. And you need to get in here and clear this clutter, so maybe you need to clear some internal clutter. Maybe you need to clear some mental clutter. You might need to clear some emotional, spiritual clutter. But Venus is like, yeah, y'all can talk about all this deep esoteric stuff with Scorpio, but baby, let me tell you, you better be putting boots on the ground. You better be taking some action, elbow grease, whatever you want to call it. You better be doing something, and you need to be disciplined, and you need to be healthier with what you're doing. Totally a moon where we could be focused on health also. Take care, Zizi. Okay. Venus in Virgo. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, it's so much. This red line right here, so much opposition. I don't know if I'm gonna include that one. I'm just gonna focus on these right here. This moon is gonna be asking us to look at where are you in balance or where are you out of balance. For sure. For sure. Okay. Another thing that I love about this is Saturn is involved, and Saturn actually does bring the same type of energy. Um, it brings this energy of you need to have a plan, you need to have some structure. Um, and it's in Pisces. It's kind of like there's something messy. This is how I described it in the video that I put in the membership. There's something a little bit messy, and you're gonna have to get that messiness cleared up, but you'll feel like you want to get the messiness cleared up. It's maybe internal, maybe something external. You know what's messy that needs cleaning. It needs structure. It needs a plan. It needs boundaries. So it's bringing that kind of energy to the moon, but it's in Pisces, so it's kind of like some type of divine blessing can come through, but it's kind of like, well, I worked hard. And so that's what brought the miracle around. It's interesting when I think about it, because sometimes a miracle happens and it's like you just feel like, oh my gosh, just all of a sudden something good happened to me. But there are times when it's kind of like, well, people will see it as a miracle, but actually I worked very hard for this thing to happen. I like worked really hard to get healthy and well again. So it looks miraculous, but I actually had to do something in order to experience that miracle. So maybe hard work. And as a result of the hard work, something miraculous or divine can happen, I think is what this moon can highlight. Remember, it's not just on that day, it's over 6 months. And then another thing that I love is that we have this Pluto trine Neptune. I'm gonna go on ahead and count Venus. We're gonna say trine Venus. It's all this earth energy activated at the same time. So I also think that it's bringing this energy of empowerment. Maybe it's like this energy of, I always like to think about how much wisdom is in the body. There's something about connecting with your body, I think, with this moon, that this moon is going to help you to realize, take care of your body, and it will provide you with all the wisdom that you need. As a matter of fact, in sistership circle, that's one of the ways we like to coach, is using the body. All the wisdom is right here. Tune into you, is what we like to say to the women we coach, is when you are tapping into your body and you're grounded in yourself, like all the wisdom is here right now. And this moon might begin to help some of us to really embrace that. All right. Oh, I know what it was. It's not Neptune. It's Pluto, Uranus, and Venus. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pluto, Uranus, and Venus. And so this Uranus is bringing an element of something unexpected and up level can happen over the next 6 months. So continue to just let me see. You know, this Uranus might be, it might be over the next year, year and a half. I just want you to stay open to an up level, but it'll be one that kind of takes time. It's kind of like it'll happen in stages over the next, it could happen right away, but could go out as 6 months, or as far as like 15, 16 months. Okay. I think something very, yeah, rich and abundant can happen for us because of this energy that's imprinted in this moon, the chart of this moon. Also, we have Lilith in Virgo. Lilith is about empowerment, but the first thing that we recognize with Lilith is, where were you disempowered? And so there may be a message in this moon about where you feel lack of power, but how you can begin to reclaim your power. Um, I want to just say too, getting out and connecting with the earth, doing more earth-based wisdom, earth-based spirituality, all of that, I think would be really, really beautiful. Oh, you're having a Lilith return. Um, yes, miscellaneous AB, you're having a return. Oh, too many people leaving. All right, y'all take care. Yeah. Ah, yeah. It sometimes it may be kind of like another way of looking at it. These are is you. It could be expected, but it happens when you least expect it. That's how it happened for me. I knew that I was destined to be, say for instance, a trainer in sistership circle. I didn't know when it was gonna happen. I certainly did not know it was gonna happen last year. I made the declaration at the end of 2021, which is what we've been talking about. All of this started at the end of 2021. I looked and I was like, I'm going all the way to the top. I'm gonna be a trainer. Had no idea that I would be a trainer. Well, I became a trainer last year, a trainer in training last year, and solidified it this year. Expected, but unexpected. That's kind of how it could work. There's that dark goddess energy coming through. I agree. I agree. Lilith is that dark goddess energy, because she kind of like, I'm about to take my power back, baby. I'm about to take my power back. But I really do think it's something about our bodies too, y'all. Now that I think about it, it's definitely something about the body. Okay. Let me see if I think I put the cards back. I think I've already shuffled these cards. I want to see if I can find the cards that I pulled when I did the here we go. So talk about dark goddess energy. Oh. Yeah, this is one of those times where it's kind of like you have to have that faith. You just got to keep believing. You really do. It's one of those times to just hunker down and just be like, you know what? I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm going to continue to stay the course. This is your time. I've been there. That's nice. Okay, Diza. Okay, Diza. Okay, so look at what I pulled. The front of the first cards I pulled was the crone. She has to do with resurrection. This has to do with water. She's Scorpio. So you can see we have Scorpio in this. Scorpio alone, just all those planets over in Scorpio. Wow. Dark goddess energy, dark feminine, crone, dark feminine. She's also Scorpio and she represents resurrection. And she says, the crone of seas rises from the ocean's depths, reborn through the dark night of the soul. And I'm telling y'all, the world is experiencing a dark night of the soul, I think. It's just the course we've been on for a number of years. And then we're going to have an upturn in 2024. She embodies heart transformation and resurrection from death into new form. She is pure female being in expression, companion of the underworld. She is renewed, resurrected through massive emotional change. And she appears during powerful times of release and shift in your life. That's why I said this moon, my take on it is it's not an easy moon. Let her lead the way through the murky depths of your personal underworld into the resurrection of your heart and expression. Welcome the change and renewal that is upon you. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. Y'all can tell me what y'all think. It's difficult. I mean, I have to be honest with y'all. The more when I was making the video for the YouTube members, I almost couldn't make it because I realized this is happening on my Saturn and my Jupiter, very close to my moon. I was like, why me? Why? But when it's your turn, it's just your turn in astrology. So whatever y'all thought about that last card, I'd love to hear. This is something we've been talking about: manifestation, fruition. This can manifest with all that earth energy in there. All right. Open yourself up to receive. Open yourself up to receive, sister. Okay. So it says, and this is Mercury in Virgo. And look at where Venus is in Virgo. This voluptuous African woman carries the gifts of the harvest to be shared with her family and community. She offers the bounty of life's wealth for all to receive and enjoy. Open now to fully experience your rewards for long work well done. We've talked about that. This is the time of fruition, of enjoying life at its peak. Celebrate the ripe harvest and take time to smell, taste, and feel the abundant fruits of your labor. Celebrate. That's why I took all that time, y'all. That's why I took all that time to celebrate. All right. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. Just feel like these cards are reflecting what we've already talked about. So I don't want to talk too much about it. So the last one that I pulled is Shakti. 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 She is number 6. I didn't notice this when I was doing this for the membership. This is Gemini. This is the energy of Gemini, which is totally in this moon. Wow. So she's a Hindu goddess. She has to do with the creative fire and essence of the universe. The energy of the primordial snake moves through her and lets rise the sleeping creative force within to awaken, ascend, and merge with the sacred. And I can tell y'all that Scorpio actually is a sign that has to do with snakes, because the Taurus full moon, it can't happen without Scorpio. So this is all about Kundalini rising. Kundalini rising. Her sensuality and passion unite the seeming Gemini polarities into sacred oneness. with spirit. Shakti personifies the holy aspiration of the human soul, and she shows the way to union with pure force of spirit, with the pure force of spirit. And she reminds you, listen, that you are a being of power. We talked about that, Lilith, and that you are on earth to let your energy move upward through your body to unite with her to fulfill your deepest desire of union with the primary force of creation. Sometimes I have problems reading this and really getting what it means, but this is what I say this is. I think I'm catching on finally. Y'all know how I've been talking about this body, Taurus is sensual. It's really about connecting the body to that creative, powerful creative energy within us and having it be balanced and at one. That is a mission that we will be on over the next 6 months. Tell me what y'all think about that. Because I don't want to talk too much because I'm like, I feel like I got it. I feel like I got it. She is about sexuality, sensuality, and spirituality and transformation, using those for transformation. So, wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Let me see. Crone life shift. Yep. Yes. Receiving fruits of my labor. It's about time. Yes. I still give more. Wait a minute. I still give more, but I'm open to receiving unapologetically. Beautiful. I'm so happy to hear this, Angelita. Beautiful. You receive all of this. And I hope that you have much better health. May it be so. Ashe oh. Yes, we've got to learn to receive. Got to learn to receive. Okay, thank y'all so much for being here. I will get out the information about the upcoming new moon circle that we're going to have on November the 9th. And it's going to be, let me just make sure that's correct. Where's my calendar? It's going to be on Scorpio. And, Scorpio has been totally reset for us. Yeah, November the 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So our Scorpio house has been completely and totally reset. So it's important for us to take that new moon and use it to help us start, plant seeds on this new clean slate that has been created in our Scorpio house. So, yes, thank you all so, so much for being here. I'm going to go on ahead and get off. I have to prepare for the training that I have to do later today. It has been a blessing being here with you all. I hope that you feel like you have an understanding of what this moon is about, and you can be looking for what's coming through. Are you finishing something? Are you manifesting something? Is something being revealed to you? What are you going to celebrate at this moon? And just being able to see, how do you tie up these eclipses so that you can continue to make them manifest for you over the next 9 and 18 years. So thank y'all so, so much for being here. I'm going to go on ahead and get off. And yeah, let me see here. What do I want to put it on? I think I'll put it on this one. Love y'all. Happy new moon in Taurus. Happy full moon in Taurus. Oh, love y'all too.